Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 166, presented by Hair Club.
Hair Club, baby. Men and women.
And everybody, really.
Everybody. Well, I mean, men and women, that's about it. Everybody meaning like what? Your animals? No.
Could be.
No.
Can I just say that I'm very stressed out right now?
I don't want to talk about that because
I'm a little stressed out.
No, it puts me in a fucked up mood.
Why?
Because this happened to me the other day, and we talked
did?
about it, and I don't like it.
When did this happen to you?
I told you that stupid ass animal clinic. If you're not familiar, we got Canadians, but there's an animal clinic I had to take the puppies to, and it's by a busy highway. It's such a clusterfuck getting in and out of there. I hate. They make you wait outside for 20 fuck minutes. And my dog slipped away when dipshit boy that fucking worked in there with purple hair comes out, and Willow gets out in front of Kate and I, and she's cruising around, and cars are slamming their brakes on. Mm-hmm. I almost killed the motherfucker, and I was stressed out for weeks after that. And then this kind of just happened.
Well, I'm very stressed out right now. My hair was just blowing in the wind. And I got lots of it. Lots of it right now.
Like Tristan from Legends of the Fall.
Just blowing in the wind. My dog, I took her to Lola and Penelope, dude. My wife had an appointment to get the hair, a bath, not even a haircut.
Yeah.
Just a bath.
Yeah.
It's very expensive, very high class. It's called Lola and Penelope, Cam. It's
they're not a sponsor.
They're
not a sponsor.
Very high class.
They're not a sponsor. So just quit saying their name.
I mean, it's just,
they don't deserve it.
It's very expensive. And I opened the door. Like, the dog is like, he's excited to get out of the car, right? He's like, where are we going? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't park in the normal parking lot in the back. I parked in the front. And I opened the door. He smells it right away. He knows exactly where he is. He's not going in. I'm literally trying to push him in. And he slips out of the collar, which is attached to the leash. It's a busy road, like right around there.
Really busy.
He's crossing the street. I'm envisioning myself calling my wife and kids saying I lost the dog, or the dog got hit by a car. Very traumatic. Very dramatic.
Yep.
I had ladies running around helping me.
Oh, I'm sure they were helping.
Well, one lady was running like a 4.840. I mean, I want to I'd like to get her a scholarship.
The homeless people help you over there too?
One homeless guy.
Yeah.
Listen, can I just tell you something about that? If you're a homeless guy out there, listen, I feel for you. I'll give you anything you need.
Except for money.
Hats, for money. Whatever. But when I ask you which way the dog went,
the fucking dog,
don't guess. I mean, he's like, that way or that way, or he like pointed all four directions. I'm like, bro, like you're driving me crazy. All of a sudden, Christmas miracle. Does it still count for this Christmas, or would that be a Christmas miracle for next Christmas? I think it's this year. Yeah, this Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. All of a sudden, I walk back down the street, and the ladies that were inside of the Lola and Penelope, very expensive
saying the goddamn name.
Very expensive.
They don't do anything.
Very high class. All of a sudden, the dog's there, and the ladies is holding the dog.
Oh. Well, you got lucky, man. We both got lucky.
Yes, I did.
The difference is they fucked up on mine. Mm-hmm. You screwed up yours.
Well,
that's the difference.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
this dude, man, just let Willow
you can look
get
at
out
it
of
a couple different ways. You know, I was envisioning yelling at you at the same time because
why?
Well, because here's how it would have gone down. I would have called you.
Away.
I would have called you, and I would have said, "Hey, listen, guys, I'm gonna be. I don't know if I can do this morning. I'm gonna be late. The dog, and you're gonna be like, I got my fucking show. You gotta. And I'd be like, dude, would you have done that,
Andy? Come on, something happened to your dog. I'd be like, no, go do your thing. That's all good. I'll go to the shack and hang out for 2 hours. But no, Andy, it comes to your animals and come on now. I mean, if you're just like, I have things to do at the rink, I ain't in the locker room, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. We got shit to do.
Yeah,
you're just standing there and you can't even talk to the motherfuckers.
Well, so you're not allowed in there anyway.
You're not allowed in there anyway. So I'm at the rink. No, you get here. But if your dog gets smoked by a goddamn car, I mean, Jesus,
what are you going to do?
I'm going to I'll probably come over and hang with the kids for a bit.
You know, it's a couple things are a miracle, by the way, that I've experienced in my life. Now that I think about it, one time my dog got ran over by a car.
All right, Andy.
When I was a kid.
Oh, man. We got shit to talk about. We got to talk Christmas.
It completely survived. Survived.
Yeah, good for him.
It didn't die.
Mine didn't.
But it had a grease stain on his forehead.
Yeah, well, they got it slid right over the motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Enough of this shit. Good. Yeah. God damn. Christmas was good.
That can happen. How was your Christmas?
I hope all you guys had a good Christmas, man. And look, I know there's so many fucking things going on right now, and everybody's going crazy. In Canada, we mentioned, I got so many people texting me in the inbox, Andy, I'm sure you too, about saying thank you for bringing up Canada. We do feel for you guys, but I hope everybody had a good Christmas, man. We had our first Christmas at the new crib, and it was quite lovely. Had it last night. I'm like the best fucking uncle ever in life. All I do is give out expensive shit.
Like what?
I have a playground
what
at my.
Did you give? What did you give? I can't believe you let these kids over to your house.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I know how to hide things now.
You do?
Yeah. And although these kids are so damn smart,
what are you hiding specifically?
Just a couple things. Down in my lair in the west wing of the house, I gotta hide some shit. Mm-hmm. There's shit down there. There's residue of shit or whatever, and it says I just gotta clean it up. I cleaned it up. It's all good. The girls came over. I hooked them up with actually Kate did, of course. Kate hooked them up with this cool camera. They're 11 and 8, and they got this camera with a green screen in the back, and they could sing songs and do cool stuff, and they record it, and they could put a backdrop of like a band in the back. And create a video.
Yeah, I like that.
And we were partying. Then I took my headphones and the microphone I have in the basement for what we do, and I put on a Christmas song, and they could sing. And this
no. That's expensive equipment. And now you're throwing it in there with the kids and everything.
They're not eating through the fucking wire like the kitty cat does sometimes. They're smarter than that. They're smarter than the animals. They really are. They're 11 and 8. They're smart. They're actually really smart, to be honest with you. They were creeping around the house before I even was able to lock shit up.
Smarter than what? Your cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're smarter than the cat. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, great Christmas. Everybody was chilled. The house looked awesome. Kate did an awesome job. It was quite lovely. But she got me this really cool thing because sometimes I'll just like lay there like drooling on myself at night. Like I like to paint things or something. I just like talk out loud. You know,
you do art.
I like to paint things. I want to get into it. So she got me this cute little painting kit where I could put a little canvas, look at my graveyard in the backyard, paint the graveyard, and just chill, listen to music, get your mind right. And then you have these little things over here like, me. I'm gonna be Leonardo da Vinci. I'm gonna get creative. I'm gonna start posting my paintings online. They're gonna be awesome. Kate got me some cool things.
Yeah, I don't foresee any of that happening, actually. Like Leonardo who? DiCaprio?
No, he's Da Vinci. He's
I know who that, a very good artist. But yeah, no, I wish you the best. Listen, art is actually a beautiful thing. Awesome. And if you're good at art, there's something that's like a gift that you have.
You don't have to be good at painting, though. Like painting, it could be abstract.
But I'm very bad at painting.
You got 3 kids, man. Yeah, I got time.
But my kids are amazing artists, like all of them, like way better than I've ever been.
I used to be able to draw.
And they paint and draw all the time, man. So good on you. Great. I'm glad Kate got that for you.
Like the point, I might not even fucking use it. But the point is, okay, it's creative.
Great. Yes, it is.
And I got a couple ththings for my phone. I'm going to get the brand new phone. And I got the
creativity in the left brain or the right brain? Do you know? Well, you should know that. I mean,
I don't know.
You have YouTubed that recently?
You only use a small percentage of your brain. I don't know the right or left. Irrelevant.
Are you left-handed?
Nope.
You're not?
I'm right everything, dude.
Really? Mm-hmm. And you're a right hockey shot, which is very unusual. Ty's the same way. He's a right shot, but he's right-handed. Typically, if you're left-handed, because like your top hand when you're playing hockey is your dominant hand.
No.
That's the
you're
way
right-handed. You shoot
works.
Right, man. Usually.
Oh, never. Because in hockey, dude, your dominant hand is your top hand.
I mean, okay.
But I'm right shot and I'm left-handed, as an example.
Yeah, well, I'm right-handed and a right shot, and I'm right. The weird thing is when people golf left and they shoot right. That's weird. They golf left and shoot hockey.
That is very weird. I want to say...
Yeah, a lot of guys do that.
Pronger shoots left and golfs left, actually.
If you do... That is weird because emotion is just... It's just... I don't know.
Yeah, no.
We golfed the other day, too. It's 70 fucking degrees here in St. Louis, guys. It was 70 degrees, which is kind of depressing.
Way too hot.
Way too hot. Like, I wanted to get cold. I wanted to get shit on.
Do you know I turned the air conditioning on in my house?
So did I.
Because we had, like, people over, and they got really hot. Windows weren't doing the justice.
Hot,
I'm like itching my eyes like it's May or something. Like I have allergies.
I like the Christmas, but when it's 70 degrees, Kate and I are outside golfing, and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt golf.
Santa's sweating his ass off.
I'm like, Santa's working his fucking...
Here. He's like, are we in Mexico?
He needs baby powder. He's fucking just working his balls off. But he's slimmed up, so look, the point is, I don't like 70-degree weather when it's Christmas. Mm-hmm. It's so beautiful out right now, but it's like, we're going to get shit on here soon.
Well, that's what happens.
We're going to get shit on in St. Louis.
I was telling the wife that. Like, when it's this nice, I mean, you can be like, oh, yeah, it's great. But then you know what? Like, something bad's about to go down.
Something bad's about to go down.
We've seen tornadoes recently after warm weather.
Yeah.
But some cold weather, some crazy storms on the way. I'm no meteorologist, but I can tell you that.
Not.
I can certainly forecast that one.
No, you're not. You've been watching these... Well, there's only one game going on, really, the World Junior. There's nothing going on.
There were several games yesterday.
I know. There's some good football games, some shitty football games, but the World Juniors, though. God, some of those hits, man.
Oh, yeah. I won my semifinal of my fantasy football league.
Let's talk about that. People like when you talk about your stupid fucking fantasy football.
We got a lot of money on the line coming up in the championship.
That's the worst topic of any. If I go to any party, by the way, and I'm sitting there and somebody brings up their...
Oh, my God.
I'm like, get the fuck out of my
Okay, but I'm not one of those. You've never heard me talk about it on the radio or anything.
Oh, you know what else pissed me off the other day, man? I was almost late for something first time in my life because I had to get something from the gas station.
What'd you need?
At you. And the people in front of me, there's like 5 people, and they all had lottery tickets. And they sat there, and it just takes fucking forever for that process to go through. I don't know.
I've never experienced that. And you've said this several times now.
Oh, Andy, it's terrible. This is out by me, though. Yeah. Like, not too many people buy you or buying lottery tickets. It's the poor people.
No, they are.
The poor people usually buy them.
I buy lottery tickets when the pot is north of 400
I'm saying
million.
these guys are paying. These guys are paying with like pocket change. Well, I see it, and it pisses me off.
Why don't you just step in, tis the season, and be like, I got his lottery ticket.
I did that the other day to some kid. Some kid was trying to buy something, and like he had to get change out. And I go, no, I got this, and I really did it just to speed the process up. To be honest with you,
they're like, thanks, Reaver.
They
don't know who you are.
Yeah, me?
Thought you were Reaver.
No shit. That doesn't make sense, Andy. He's an African American.
Well, I mean,
I'm a fucking Swedish Viking.
Thanks, Kinger.
You and the King Dutch. God. Like, fuck you, Kinger. I'm on 6'3".
Thanks, Eric Bolton. I'm just trying to think of tough guys you played with.
That I look like.
But the World Juniors, man, I absolutely love the World Junior Tournament. It's my favorite time of the year. I love watching it, sitting back and relaxing. I mean, I can tell you so many star players that you see in the NHL today that I remember watching play in the World Juniors. And, nowadays, kids get into the tournament at a much younger age than we did because all the games are being televised. Talking about here in the States, the Canadians get into it all the time. It's like more commercialized than Christmas up there.
Andy, no one even knows what's going on here.
No.
Nobody in St. Louis.
The hockey fans do. But.
Okay, a very small percentage of anybody in St. Louis even understands what World Juniors is.
No.
Even at the radio station. These fucking guys.
Even the people doing the games, I don't even know if they know what's going on.
Even the fucking people in my radio, Andy and I's radio station down here, 590 Fan, they think they know everything about every sport, and they don't even know what the fuck World Juniors are.
No, I've always said this about local media here. They follow the Blues.
They follow
hockey,
right?
St.
Louis-based stuff.
Yeah. It's the Blues. It's not hockey, which is fine.
It's the Pelicans.
It would take a certain type of passion for the game to really get into the World Junior Tournament, and the reality is, people in Canada, they have it, man, and they've been watching it for years.
It's like perfect too. Like right after Christmas, like if you're a hockey fan, you got hardcore hockey going on. You got Christmas time hitting you. Then you got this badass tournament with all these kids that are drafted by your team or whatnot. It's just like a big fucking festival of fun.
And we've had so many guests talk about their experience playing in the World Juniors too. Didn't Pierre Turgeon talk about when the lights went out and everything? When the big brawl happened, Canada versus Russia, and people were being critical of Turgeon because he didn't fight or something.
Yeah, he was on the bench. Yeah, he's like, no, I was out there. He's like, I got stepped on or something.
Exactly. He's like, what are you guys talking about? The lights were out.
And you know what? What a bad that would be. Poor Pierre Turgeon's like, I didn't. It's such a bad rep to get if everybody's fighting and you're sitting on the bench. Like that's the biggest puss move ever.
So you think you should not do that, even if you're like pissed off that the brawl's happening. Okay,
that's the most. Didn't that's the one guy extra over there that's just getting double teamed and fucking. Right.
No, you got to get involved.
Cut your skate. Those Russians are trying to step on your hands and shit. No. And then. So if you have that reputation, and I'm glad he's like, no, I didn't. I was out there. I got cut in my fucking arm because somebody stepped on me. He's like, that's the scariest damn thing in the world. By the way, guys, being under a pile in football is hardcore. Andy, I don't want to hear any stories of you doing it. Basketball.
You know what they do to you when you're at the bottom of the pile,
They shove your fucking head in the goddamn mud.
Well, they do worse than that where I played.
Well, they probably grabbed your fucking dinghy. I mean, a bunch of weirdos.
If they want the ball bad enough, I mean, they'll do some crazy
Did you wear
stuff.
A jock? Probably not, eh?
Oh, always, yeah.
A lot of football players don't wear jocks.
A lot of them, they don't, especially like skilled positions and stuff like that. Maybe they feel like it makes them run faster.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, the point is, like, the scariest thing in the world of all sports, besides maybe a fucking Major League Baseball brawl because there's so many people, is having a brawl at the end of a shift. You get the wind knocked out of you, and you hit a guy weird, and then you get jumped, and you're in the bottom of a pile, and you can't breathe. And you have nightmares about that, dude.
Wow, man.
You have fucking nightmares about that for weeks and weeks.
Yeah. I had a fumble recovery one time. I was at the bottom of the pile, so I know exactly how that feels. But the the World Juniors, if people haven't checked it out, just check it out. USA's got a great squad once again this year.
Yeah. There's college basketball playing. They don't give a shit around here.
I know. Canada's got a good squad as always. I watched Russia play yesterday.
Team.
Russia versus Sweden. Those are two powerhouses. Sweden always is good, man. Sweden's got some big boys, too.
Chippy game.
Yeah, it was
There's some big hits. Who got motherfucked up? Somebody on Canada just murdered some, what are they calling them now? Czechia. Okay.
Explain where that came from.
I don't really
I'm like,
know.
is this a country I've never heard of?
Czechia.
Because, I understand, the old Czechoslovakia, where my grandpa's from. I'm part Czech, which explains my toe drag. My hands, my game. Well, because I have a lot of European in my game. I got part European, part North American.
You got nothing in your game.
Play any style you want.
You're not even invited to play the Warriors last weekend. You wanted to go so bad.
Oh no!
Anytime I play against with the boys, with the alumni, Andy always texts me afterwards how was it? Well, I was thinking about going. No, you aren't. You got to get an invite to go. You're fucking.
Rupper told me all about it. I was going to bring my son.
That's a different story. You would have brought Ty, dude. Would have brought him in the locker room and hung out.
Yeah, that was the plan.
But you just don't do that. Why don't you bring Ty places, man? Because it's there, and I'm going.
Because I had the first ever Stricky skate on the day before Christmas Eve. Had a bunch of people out there, man. It was great. We had a great time skating.
Kids?
Yeah, all the kids just do whatever you want. I mean, dads had sleds out there pulling their kids. Siblings were invited, man. It was a lot of fun. Cool, it was a lot of fun.
Well, you guys going to say they built this rink out here, man. It's so fucking nice. The Centene Community Ice Center. It's three rinks, four rinks, one outdoor. We skated in 70-degree weather at 9:00 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning, on outside.
The ice is slush.
The ice wasn't bad. That's my point. It's a brand new rink. The air conditioning system is fucking full bore, brand new.
It's not like your typical outdoor rink. I mean, it's outside, but it's covered.
It's an amphitheater where they host concerts
and stuff like
that. Dude, this place is fucking. Not to mention we have this badass alumni facility. I know I've talked about that before, but we are spoiled. Andy gets to bring his kids out there. You get to walk in the fucking alumni room. There's always alumni everywhere. There's always Blues players everywhere.
We had some alumni out. We had some alumni out at my skate too, and it was a lot of fun, man. Yeah. I mean, and current players do. We're also skating around too.
I want to bring this up too.
I don't want to name anybody's names. I don't know what they're allowed to do nowadays. Are they allowed to be around people? What are you talking about? Well, there were some current players that came to the skate.
Fucking Connor McDavid doesn't have his mask on right, and everybody's just going ape shit on it. He just just let it, just give it up.
He didn't have his mask where?
But there's it came down past his nose, and of course all the riders got to go crazy about it.
Because of what? Is it Omnicron?
Omnicron.
How do you say it?
Sniffles? You mean AK Sniffles? My Commodore is fucking. He's over the place.
We may have to have him back on.
We might get that motherfucker back on.
I think he was our second guest we ever had on. Was he the first one or the second one?
No, Ryan or I was the first one, Andy. Yeah. So it's so funny. And Andy and I, we got to tiptoe around Twitter at times. Andy doesn't want me going crazy on Twitter. It's bad for fucking business. What we say on the
You wouldn't do it anyway.
I wouldn't do it. I do it on the podcast. I speak my mind on a podcast. Mm-hmm. So whether you want to hear it,
and then you don't want Brody clipping it off either.
Well, no, I don't want Brody clipping. No, I don't want that either. No, but it's still on the pod. No, it's still on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's still on the podcast.
It is.
I don't want to force the issue. You
just
got
to go there to hear the whole thing. You got
to go there to hear shit. I don't want to force the issue on Twitter. That my point is we say what we want on here. Mm-hmm. But if I was on Twitter doing what Mike Commodore's doing, mm-hmm. you'd be like, Cameron, I agree with some of the shit. Yeah. Just stop them. Mm-hmm. Because fucking people hate you. They'll hate you. Yeah. Now, if they come on here and hear it, it's different. It's more settling.
Well, he's crushing his own country, his people.
And then people always, look, man, if you crush Omicron, whatever you want to fucking
Omnicron?
Pussy, whatever. It still killed a couple people, and COVID as a whole still killed people, and a lot of people that we know, a lot of our fans are awesome fucking diehard fans that are fucking loyal. They've all had somebody that knows somebody that probably died or something. So it's one thing to talk about it and chirp a couple things here and there. We know, but when you start blasting on Twitter,
if you're health compromised, if you're elderly,
obese, it's all about obesity. It's about obesity.
Sometimes they'll put on Twitter, they'll be like, "This person is a perfect bill of health and died from COVID," and I'm like, "Dude, look at it. He's not a perfect bill of health."
Thank you.
He's like 150 pounds overweight.
I know some pro athletes. I talked in the locker room with some of the guys, and they're like, "I know some dudes. Their grandmother died." That played pro in our town, and they made sure they called that fucking doctor's office and said, "No, she died of this," and they put COVID on there, and they're like, "Well, you'll get a $7,000 insurance bailout, whatever. If you do it, he goes, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but let me ask you about that because I don't know. I think the hospital gets a bonus.
Well, that's whatever.
I don't know if the person who died, if that family gets a check or not.
Well,
I think
you get it depends on your insurance, and if they died of COVID, you get like a
Omicron. Omicron. Is that? I got to ask Dr. Fauci about this. Like, when did this one come around? Because like now it's like COVID doesn't even exist. It's just Omicron.
Well, we weren't expecting it. Wait, what? You weren't expecting it?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. What are you expecting then? Should we have expected it instead of you?
Getting back to what you said, I mean, not to use make this into like a COVID podcast, but I certainly can. If you want to have a COVID conversation,
no one wants to hear more about it. That's why I
always wonder how many people died from COVID versus dying with COVID. Like, I mean, I'm saying there's a big difference there.
Andy, no doubt
of COVID.
And if you do your homework on it, like you kind of know, like I mean, but still people died, so we can't. But anyway, what else was I going to say to you? Fuck. There was something else I was going to... God damn it, Andy.
The insurance?
No.
Yeah. Oh. People in the locker room, whatever you're saying. I don't know. Talking like they call in the hospitals.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, and that's somebody... Oh, here's what I was going to say. Trevor Zegras effect. So anyway, hanging out with the guys in the locker room, you missed out on that because you didn't get the invite. Yeah. But hang out. You missed out on it because you didn't get the goddamn invite. I'm hanging out with all the buddies. All their kids play. All the coaches. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. They all seem like they're in a miserable fucking mood.
Oh, yeah.
All you coaches, and I love all you guys, all you former players, you all seem miserable, except for a handful of the old school cats, like maybe Wire and shit like that. They love coaching the girls. Anyway, I'm talking about the Zegras, the Torts thing, whatever. And, of course, everybody bashes Torts. And the way he presents himself sometimes when he breaks down something, it kind of goes weary. Well, but he still has a point, and here's why. These guys, and even you see this, all the kids now are trying to flip the fucking puck over the goddamn net during the game. They're getting slaughtered behind the net. They're turning the puck over left and right. And they're all like, this fucking Trevor Zegras does this. Now all the kids are like, oh, look, they're doing it in practice. Meanwhile, they do it in the game, and they're sitting the kids out, and it's just a fucking disaster.
No, I look at it a couple different ways. First off, there's not many people who can actually do it, including in the NHL. I'm talking about
flip the puck over the net?
I'm talking about have the confidence to think that how Zegras did it. He didn't just flip it. He pulled it up onto his blade. He did like the Michigan with it. You know, I'm just saying there's not many guys that would have the confidence to do that in a game. Some guys will, some guys won't. So the way I look at it, I don't think it's ever going to become an issue at the highest level in the NHL. Now with the kids, sure, all the kids, they all want to be Trevor Zegras. Listen, when we had Zegras on, and he's part of this, I don't know if he's in part 1 or part 2, Brody, in terms of the best of the Cam Strick Podcast.
Kid.
And listen, we were the first ones to get him on, man. I wanted to get him on for a couple of reasons. But number one, like he's I knew he was a cool kid too. Very confident. He's different than a lot of these younger players that come in. Although people have to stop calling him like surfer dude and all this type of stuff because he's from New York.
Well, he kind of has that surfer
He's
vibe
got that surfer vibe. I mean, he fits in very, very well in Southern California. But he's from New York, whatever. He's just a chill, hockey player, really. But if you're a coach, and here's the deal, if you've got kids that are trying to do that and then they don't pull it off, they don't execute it, they turn it over, you sit that kid on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Because there's an easier play to be made. And so if they're going to try to do stuff where the degree of difficulty is very high and they can't pull it off, then you got to handle that as a coach.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying don't try shit. It's just funny.
Better make sure you pull it off.
It's like they're like, wait, no. Hey, we only have the ice for another 15 more minutes. Instead of doing this, how about you guys all get on the fucking half wall, and I'll rim it around, and you got to kick it up to yourself, kick it this way, come down and take a shot. How about you're better get the puck out of the zone, which happens 50 fucking times a night. You got to be if you're really good at that, like you're just that much better of a player.
But I mean, like he's fine for the game. Torts tried to apologize, it was even worse. Like, dude, be you.
Be you. Who gives a shit?
Like, exactly. I can't believe you're trying to all of a sudden backpedal a little bit.
I don't agree with everything.
And then he starts blaming the media. Like, I mean, hey, whether you like it or not, man, you are part of the media now. Like, you're in the media.
You're the media guy.
And even House of Zegras was even saying, he's kind of taking shots at the media too.
House of Bucci
Zegras. So, I mean, like, come on. You guys are all part of the media.
Yeah, we're all media.
Just make your statement, and if it blows up in a direction that you don't want it to go, you can't just all of a sudden come back and start pointing fingers and blaming everybody else. Like you said
goofy,
it.
Man.
It is what it is.
So goofy. Who cares?
I got a lot of respect for Torts that he goes out and says stuff that's not popular. He doesn't give the popular opinion. Yeah. He says things that actually gives ESPN hockey some attention.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nothing else is giving ESPN hockey positive attention right now.
No, it's not.
And if you want to even call this positive outside of what...
Well, it gets attention.
What Torts says.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't hear anything about anything.
When else do you hear anything about ESPN hockey? That's really great.
The only thing I hear is Biz, Tocchet.
And they're TNT.
And then fucking Torts here and there, and that's it.
I know. That's basically... I mean, I don't even know when the games are on. Listen, I'm not going to chirp anything. I think it's great that, hockey's on ESPN. Some people are writing columns and stuff like that, being critical of their coverage, saying there's less games now than there were when NBC had the rights for the NHL. You never know when the games are going to be on TV. There's actually only a handful of games that are actually on TV. The rest of them are on this app.
ESPN Plus, is fucking hard. It's very bizarre.
For some people, it's very difficult.
It barely comes up, and it's a little bit delayed.
Yeah. I like it on my phone because I can watch all the games and stuff like that.
I don't want to watch anything I don't give a shit about watching anything on my phone. I want to sit on my goddamn couch and look at my fucking big TV and not have it delayed. And then it looks like then the HD goes out for like 30 seconds at a time. You can't even tell who's who.
The TNT games, those are too late. They don't even start till like 9 o'clock at night.
You know how I am. Gonzo.
So I know you're not watching those games.
Well, I'm a little different now.
Occasionally they have the early game. I don't know. It is what it is, man. I'm glad they got a lot of these people involved broadcasting the games. And, it's the first year. Having it on ESPN is only a plus, and TNT, what they're doing with their studio and all that has been good.
How's this Connor
Bedard
doing? How did he look the other night?
He's small. He's like 5 foot. I mean, he looks good, man. Yeah. I mean, for a young kid. How much ice did
he get?
He got a good amount.
Okay.
He played. I don't have the exact stats in front of me.
Well, you should.
But he's a smaller player. That kid Shane Wright is the one that I'm really paying attention to. He's going to be the first overall pick coming up next year. He plays for Canada too. So.
Owen Power,
he looked
man. Pretty dang
He's
good.
a big monster.
Dang boy.
Kind of looks like Brian Boyle or something like that. I don't know.
Brian Boyle.
Remember the kid, the big guy?
Yeah. We got to get him on.
I know we do.
He kind of looks like. Somebody said he looked like Cal Dubas a little bit. He kind of looks like surfery, geeky, long hair. But he loves
playing college. Hey, listen, here's a message to all the NHL teams. Like, don't be in such a hurry to sign these first, second, third overall picks. We're going to bring them in like when they're not ready. Like, let them go back to college or wherever they're playing. That's why college hockey is good, because you're playing against older players. I know it's different than junior.
Yeah, I get
like, if you're dominating at 18, 19, you don't need to go back to play junior with 16-year-olds. College is different. I love what Austin Matthews did a few years back, how he went over to Switzerland. We had Mark Crawford on with us, who coached him.
I went at 19.
Yeah, the year before he played in the NHL. He went over and played. I mean, because he could have gone and played college or could have gone and played junior. And it was entering his draft year, so he went and played professional hockey over there in Switzerland.
Oh, that's the best.
And played well.
Switzerland.
And played for an NHL coach and Mark Crawford.
Lord.
So
that's a good one.
But when you see like the Jack Hugheses and some of these guys who just don't look like they're ready quite for prime time, I'm talking like a year ago.
Yeah, he did. He looked like a boy.
Little weak.
He looked like an old boy. But now he looks good. He's got that hair flowing. He's got a little confidence in him. He had a badass OT winner. He got his, stick. He's showing off.
All right, where do you see things going right now with Omicron?
Oh man, again with this motherfucker.
Like where do you think it's going? Because now we've got games being postponed and whatever. Let's hope
figuring it out.
Let's hope the games, that are on the schedule for the rest of the week, that they actually get played. We can kind of get back to having hockey. And the NHL is doing what they should have done all along.
Shit.
Taxi squads, having goaltenders available, not having a penalty for emergency call-ups, bringing these guys up if they're making $1 million or less. Like this should have been in place from the very beginning.
No shit. We didn't know it was coming. Okay. Look, something's going to have to change. For example, the Habs only have 9 regular players, like 9. How many do the Blues have out right now? Like a fucking ton?
They've got 5.
They got 5
but
out.
Sundqvist is coming back.
Well, they're loaded up. You look at their lineup today and you're like,
oh my God.
They're fucking still loaded.
But see, they've had so many injuries and so many COVID situations. It's like 1 or 2 guys or 3 or 4 guys get COVID, then like 4 guys are coming back in.
I know.
So it's like, here comes Kyrou, here comes Thomas, even though they had injuries.
Yeah.
Perron had an injury, but like all these guys are coming back. Shen. And now they're losing like Barbashev, 4-2. Listen, all these you can get by without some of these guys. James Neal was already hurt anyway.
He's whatever.
Dakota Joshua was a fourth-line young guy. So it's not the end of the world for St. Louis, but for some teams, man, they're really getting hit hard.
They're getting rocked. And I don't know what's going to happen with Canada and the U.S. Canada's still trending in one direction. The U.S. is trending in a different direction when it comes to Omicron.
Let me ask you this. Are the two countries trending in different directions, or is one country handling it differently than the other?
I put that in the same kind of category. I think it's all. You could put the stats all you want together. I think it's like more like, what do you want to do with it? For example, look at Florida. DeSantis down there, Governor DeSantis, who's going to run for president probably. He's just opened everything up, and their cases gone. So they've
always kind of been like that.
Yeah, and it's been working. So it's like it's just your mindset more than anything. Look, it's going to flare up here and there. It's like how do you want to look at this new virus? How do you want to look at it? And Canada's looking at it like it's fucking the Spanish flu from the early 1900s. But some states in the U.S. are looking at it like, no, it's just whatever. We got to deal with it, and we're not going to shut down businesses. We're going to move forward in this direction. Canada's staying in this direction. Florida and places like that are going in different directions. Does that make sense?
It makes a little bit of sense.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, I just that's
I don't
know. Listen, I've asked players. I have asked players, would you be okay playing in a game knowing a player on the other side has COVID?
Yeah.
They're asymptomatic. They don't have any symptoms, but they have COVID. Would you be okay with it?
I said, yeah.
And like some players are like, dude, I've played with the flu. I played where I couldn't even hardly walk, man. They're putting IVs in me prior to the game.
Sticking me in my groin with a fucking injection.
Or a teammate of mine is getting IVs before the game because you look at the old classic like video of Michael Jordan playing in the NBA Finals with the flu.
I know.
He had to sit next to somebody like who could have gotten the
was
flu
it the
or
pizza
maybe
flu?
got sick.
Is that when he got
the pizza flu?
The pizza flu.
Yeah, whatever.
I remember that.
I remember
he had
there was some like gambling issue attached to it or something.
See, Michael Jordan's fucking cool though. I'm sorry. Compared to who,
LeBron.
Bronny. I'm Bronny. Although Bronny came out and did a little COVID fucking tweet.
Did he?
Yeah. He's starting to turn in a different direction. LeBronny's a nerd compared to Jordan, though.
Oh, not even
every
close.
fucking way possible. Mm-hmm. In every way possible.
Compared to a bunch of other guys.
Dude, like Shaq's one of the coolest. Charles Barkley, just fucking cool, fun, funny, cool. Like, and Bronny's he's just a fucking nerd, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Magic Johnson.
Badass, cool shit.
Larry Bird.
Cool as shit. Good old fucking hillbilly boy from Indiana, right? Just good old boy.
Then you got Bronny boy.
You got Bronny. Hi. Taco Tuesday. How's LeBronny doing? Look, he got... Fuck off.
Oh, my God. So, like, let's just, like, you just got to... Hey, I'll give the NBA some credit because the commissioner came out and said, hey, listen, COVID's not going anywhere. We better figure out a way to live through it.
Goddamn right. I know.
So while the NHL is like canceled, they're dark for day after day after day after day. Like the NBA's got a full slate of games, the NFL's got a full slate.
It pisses these Canadians off so much.
Come on, man.
It fucking pisses them off so much.
Hey, but if Canada's going to create these issues, man, they got to get a hold of that.
It's not that yeah, I agree.
Either
it's
force those teams to come play their home games in the States or something.
Something has to
We
happen.
got a season to play.
I know.
So
fucking business.
Yeah.
It's a business, and we're weighing the options. And people are weighing the options like, I need to make money. Let's see, where are we at health-wise?
That's why it's easier for the NHL or the NBA commissioner to come out and say that, Cam, because they don't have Canada. They've got one Canadian team.
I know.
So he doesn't have the same issues, the same challenges that Gary Bettman and Bill Daly are dealing with. And let me just tell you this, though. If you talk to Gary Bettman or Bill Daly privately, on the side, no cameras, nothing on the record, man, they think just like everyone else.
No shit they
do. They think like everyone else.
No shit
They're trying to navigate through this. But, again, a big portion of their revenue comes from Canada. We all know that. And so you're dealing with two countries, man. It's not easy. All right, we're dealing with the best of, Cam.
Yeah, man.
For 2021, man, what a year when you think about it. An incredible year.
For our podcast, it was good. I mean,
yeah,
it's not great. The last 2 years sucked.
No, they sucked.
They sucked for people,
But
man.
you'll never forget what took place in 2020, 2021. And we certainly won't forget what took place with the podcast in 2021.
Yeah, we're just here to entertain you guys. You know that. And girls. And girls. 22% girls.
Is that what it is?
I met a couple the other day. They said they came up to you at the game.
Yes, they did.
They're really fans of mine.
Oh.
But I wasn't at the game, so you were next in line.
They came up to you?
Yeah.
And I told you that story, remember?
Yeah, cool couple. I took pictures with the kids.
I know.
And all
we
that.
get pictures and everything. There was some. I was at a holiday party over the weekend, whatever. Or just I don't even know what the weekend was. A couple days before Christmas, A lot of women there, beautiful women.
Where is this at?
It was at like a friend of mine.
Your wife's got hot ass friends, doesn't she?
Oh yeah. But like some of these.
My wife has ugly friends. To be honest,
do
with
they?
You. I know.
No,
she probably shouldn't say
very
that.
attractive friends, but a lot of these are like my friends. Like I had friends from high school that came in town, which is always nice, Cam. Like you get to hang out with people from like who you've known forever. Sure. They know you, man. You just kind of just do whatever you want and whatever. But I've had some people, though, tell me, including the women, very attractive women, coming up to me taking pictures. But after the pictures, they were saying how a lot of them just listen to the clips on social media. So I just want to encourage the people to listen to the whole podcast. Yeah. I know it's tough. You're missing a lot. What you hear on social media in terms of the clips is not even a tip of the iceberg.
No, it's like a PG version usually of shit. I mean, because that's all we, again, Twitter's.
So we have fans of the podcast that are fans that only listen on social media. And it's like they don't even get the full gist of it. Yeah. And they just get some of the bigger stories.
A lot of people just listen to the intro. And a lot of people just listen to the...
Yeah, some people don't listen to the intro. I mean,
it's all over the place.
To each their own.
I don't give a shit. As long as you support us, keep this damn thing going. Support the sponsors.
And that's what it's all about.
That's all it's about, baby. It's a business. Business. What it is.
What stood out for you, though, of all the guests that we had?
Oh, God.
In 2021, Cam.
My fucking memory sucks.
Do you remember who we had on this past year?
Oh, God. I don't know.
I don't know, man. There's some amazing ones. The Mike Babcock, I mean, having... And here's what I take pride in. I will say this, man. And I want the listeners to know this, because we do this. We love our relationship with the fans. And hearing from so many different people. I'll be honest, when we first started doing this, Cam, I didn't really understand or totally get the podcast world.
Yeah.
It's opened your eyes to a whole new world of people who listen to the podcast, people from all over the world, tons of Canadians, tons of Americans. But it's not just that. We hear from people all over the world, people who are in the military, who are kind of stuck overseas.
Yeah, baby.
I had a guy come up to me the other day that said his interpreter in Afghanistan got blown up in the head. True story. Shot and killed right in front of him. And it was so dramatic and so hard for him. He said what got him through was listening to the podcast. Man, it's those type of stories that are like, wow, what we do, there's a reason behind it, there's a purpose behind it, and we absolutely...
Oh, we love that, though. We love hearing that from the military.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah. But, I think about some of the, listen, one thing I take pride in about what we do here is that we get a lot of the guests that you hear, like we get them on first. And then it kind of blows up, So when you have like Trevor Zegras, the Robin Lehners, Mike Babcock, who I think were the only podcast that he did, Brett Hall, Wayne Gretzky, man.
Come on.
I can go on and on and on. We can start naming 20, 30, 40 of these guys. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. So,
but we work hard for that, Andy, and I got to give you props, and I chirp you a lot. But you're the one that gets these guys, You do. And that's you're not going through a big corporation to help. You're not going through Sportsnet. You're not going through fucking any of that bullshit. You do it on your own via relationships that you had throughout the years. And that's a compliment. And that's all you're fucking getting.
Well, I thank you, Cam, for everything that you do for this podcast. You just show up and fucking talk.
Show up before you do. I get my fucking notes down, and I fucking bring the heat every goddamn time. Bring the fucking heat every time.
What are you drinking in that cute teacup today?
Coffee.
What kind? Is that you get the gas station coffee?
Smell it? Yeah.
No, you like the gas station coffee.
I had a donut today, too.
Did you?
I've been eating a lot more.
Dude,
I don't know.
I've been eating so. How'd your prime rib turn out, by the way?
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
I got so much fucking food. I'm my first time.
You didn't cook for your guests?
I had to hide shit the whole fucking time. I had no time to cook the standing rib roast. But I'm going to next year. I had to get comfortable. Again, first Christmas at the house. It was quite lovely. Lovely house, Andy.
Where do you get your wreaths?
Motherfucker, I don't know. Do you think I put those up?
Well, who put them up?
Kate puts everything up.
You have her get on the ladder and do that shit?
Goddamn, I say, woman, get on that ladder, girl.
And you're not even home when she's doing that?
No. I got cameos.
I've never seen my wife on a ladder.
No, Kate's she's a go-getter. She does shit. I'm one-dimensional. I carry things, Mm-hmm. I'll go get things in the basement and bring them up.
Oh, I'll do that
which is pretty cool.
I'll do it. And then I sit back down.
And then I'll put things in things. And I went to my parents' house and I got them a fucking bat. God, they're very.
Where'd you get your parents?
My parents are
a case of Busch Light.
They are in the
get them some Busch?
blue collar part of the blue collarville of Eureka, and they live in this little 1,400 square foot house. and they don't have a fireplace. And my mom and the doggies and my dad just sit and watch movies and read books and have chill. They sip beer and they'll get their mind right and they just chill. And it gets fucking cold. So I got them this shit-kicking fireplace that a portable fireplace that's like 6 feet long. And it's got like shelving in it to put their things in.
Oh,
and
really?
You put the TV on it and you press the button.
Does it have a remote control?
Yeah. You have remote control, and it lights up, and you could turn it hot as shit, so it blares, so all the animals will pass out right there on the couch. My mom they're not going to sleep in the bedroom anymore.
Dude, those things are a fire hazard.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No,
you
they're
better
not.
watch
This
that.
thing's expensive as shit.
Well, you better watch it because it's a fire hazard.
Well, if you don't keep the heat, dude. You keep the heat on for 5 minutes. It's hot. You could just press a button and it just shows the fire without bringing heat. So it's not.
Dude, when I owned,
I have mine on all day long.
When I was a landlord and I had like rental properties and stuff like that, I had a tenant who would drive me crazy because he would turn on the space heaters and it would trip the electricity, dude. I used to have to come down and change out the fuses and all that.
These things are fucking expensive, dude. It's badass.
Okay.
So
your parents are warm this holiday season.
They're gonna be warm. I got them
70 degrees outside.
Well, it's gonna get we're gonna get shit on, dude. It's going to be cold in March. That's what's trending. The weather does change. Yeah. Climate change is real. Now, does that mean that we got to stop driving SUVs? I don't think so. You got to get the rest of the world if I can chill out.
Not from Bellman, baby.
Hey, no, I'm driving a fucking four-wheel drive, hopefully for the rest of my life. But
you'll probably be driving the same one you have now. You've had that one for way too long.
It's only got 100,000 miles. It's paid off.
Actually, it looks newer than it is.
Nah, I got to get it washed. But
what color are those seats on the inside?
Brown. Yeah, it's a high country, man. It's
very high country.
It's called a high country.
Yeah,
but I want to get the HD diesel version of that truck there and put some fucking badass. I like the black rims, with like what I had, like a beige.
I'm thinking about a pickup truck too, actually, if I can pull that off.
Oh, you're going to get rid of your Volvo? Actually, Volvo, they're a good company,
Cam,
dude.
You came in the Volvo.
It's a nice car.
You were pumping it up. You tried to give me COVID. In my Volvo,
dude, don't even.
I should have put a shower curtain up
because
like that.
It's so
coach.
fucking stupid to say like I'm getting you guys. What do you mean? I don't leave my fucking house.
Well, I should have
You got 3 fucking kids. They're hanging out with kids that are licking fucking doorknobs. Then they come over to your house and touch everything. They're fucking sneezing all over the fucking place. And then you go to the games and you act like you're fucking high-fiving people, touchy-feely, fuck. And then you tell me that I'm doing what? Hey. I got a cat and 2 dogs. And I golf outdoors. That's all I do.
I should have put a shower curtain up like that coach.
We're clean in the
You want to give that coach a shout out though, real quick.
What's his name?
I forgot. Guti, I think. Guite.
Yeah, where it's some of these.
He didn't want to leave his player.
He didn't want to leave his player
Quebec.
who had COVID because they probably put him in a sewer in Quebec and make him torture him down there because he had COVID. So the coach comes back, gets his SUV, puts the shower curtain up, and drives him all the way home so he can go home for Christmas. That's what the fuck you do. That's what you do. What's his name, Andy? So we don't look like jackasses.
I don't have it in front of me.
Damn it.
You should have had that in your notes. But regardless, the coach, instead of leaving him behind, said, you know what, I'm going to drive him. And he put a shower curtain up behind the front row and had the player in the 3rd row of the SUV. They talked and they listened to each other. Probably sang some Christmas songs on the way.
Probably not, Andy. I mean, that's kind of nerdy.
Well, you never know what they did. But I should have had a shower curtain for you. I would have put you in the 3rd row of my Volvo XC90.
How would I just don't go?
Yeah, well.
Because you used me that day.
Oh, we have a big announcement coming up in January, too. We're looking forward to that. Major announcement.
Yeah.
So stick around for that. All right, the Cam Strick Podcast, the best of 2021, is brought to you by Hair Club. hairclub.com/Cam and Strick.
Yeah, baby.
That's our landing page. Go there. All the information you need is right there. Hundreds and hundreds of solutions, over 1,200 locations throughout North America. That means there's lots of locations in Canada and lots of locations here in the States.
That is a big deal. Everybody loses hair. I don't care if you're in Canada. I don't give a shit if you're in the United States. Some countries are a little bit different. I feel like in Sweden, you don't really lose your hair that much. I don't know too many Swedes are losing their hair. Matt Sundin
lost his hair. He's like the only one. I don't think he lost it until he started playing for Toronto, though.
No shit.
Or maybe Quebec.
Jesus
one or the
Christ. I started losing my hair, too. It's a horrible feeling when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, my God. Not only am I getting older, my career is fucking coming to an end. I'm losing my motherfucking hair, and it's going quick, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, you don't like that at all. No.
You got to get that goddamn thing fixed. You got to do it with Hair Club. Even if you're a chick, too. Your girl's got a little bit of a fucking thing going. Like, I know it's kind of like, hey, me. I'm telling you, they'll hook her up, too.
Yes. Grandmothers, everybody.
Ever since I had to sponsor Hans Wyman and Hair Club, Kate's like, oh, my hair. I'm like, you have the most beautiful.
Oh, really?
She's like, that.
She wants a solution. We've got a solution for her.
The thickest fucking hair, the most gorgeous blonde. Now it's red now. She got like that. It looks amber. She
got it colored?
It looks really good.
She's a redhead. For the holidays.
She's one of them redheads now.
Wow. What do you call that?
Sometimes your girl needs to just have a little bit of a change. And then you're like,
it's like a fire.
She's a fucking red hair. I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's up, girl? Give me that red hair.
You like redheads?
I like, yeah. Whatever. I mean, if you're a good-looking girl, you're a good-looking girl.
Yeah. But Hair Club is a terrific sponsor. That is our title sponsor here on the Cam Strick Podcast, presented by Hair Club. And again, go to our landing page, hairclub.com/Cam Strick. Do it today. $250 off your first consultation, which you can book right there on the webpage. 800-278-7979. 800-278-7979 if you want to talk to a person. They're standing by. They'll take your phone call.
Yeah, baby.
As we speak.
Don't let it go. Don't let it go.
No, but if you have let it go, it's all good. We got a solution.
Yep.
For everybody.
Yes.
Shampoos, conditioners, everything. Car Shield, man, they've got a solution for everybody, too. And I really mean that. Use that promo code CAM and use it wisely and use it now. It'll save you 10%. Yep. Carshield.com. You never know when shit's going to go down, man. You never know. Omicron or anything like that can happen, okay? Without any warning. Cam came into my Volvo and it just,
quit saying that.
What he did was so unnecessary.
I don't have kids. I have,
okay. But
you're bacteria filled.
You are protected. It's like walking around with a shield over you when you have Car Shield. Carshield.com. Your computer goes out, your alternator, your engine, anything breaks. Guess what? You're in good hands. It's peace of mind because you pay your small fee every month for Car Shield. Now if something happens, they take care of it. They even let you choose where to get it worked on, who you want to have be your mechanic. They hook you up with a rental car. It's a one-stop shop, and we love everybody over there at Car Shield. Again, carshield.com. Use that promo code CAM, and you're going to save 10%. How about Bellman and Bellman.com?
Yeah, baby.
Danny Bellman, man. Honestly, you think about the people, Cam, here in 2021, even going back to 2020, those who have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, Bellman falls in that category, man. They have been with us.
They've been so good to us, man.
They support the hell out of us. We love our friends there with Bellman.
Before we even got going, Bellman jumped on board. Like, we're never going to forget that, dude.
No.
Like, you're our
He
OG.
was like listening as a fan.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to be a part of this.
Yep.
And we were like, dude, Bellman, who's like notorious for supporting hockey here in the region. Like, we want you a part of our team. Hell yeah. Match made in heaven.
No shit. And then I want a badass truck, though, Danny boy. Yeah, I ain't playing no mo.
Well,
I ain't playing no mo.
You talk to Kenny, because Kenny might help you.
I ain't playing.
Or Dale.
Dale, I ain't playing. I want that HD fat ass truck, boy. Yeah. It's gonna get shitty outside, Andy. That little Val ain't gonna go nowhere.
Well,
you're gonna need me to come pick you up.
All-wheel drive.
Which I'm not gonna do.
I'm gonna get something new from Bellman, though, man. I'm telling you that here in 2022. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, dude. I ain't playing.
Talking it over with Danny and Kenny as we speak, and Dale. Everybody.
Dale.
Located in Troy, Missouri, they got the Buick GMC on one side of the street, Cam. You just cross the street, they got that Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Gigantic. They got everything over there with our friends with Bellman. Happy holidays to Danny Bellman, Kenny Bellman, to Dale, everybody with the Bellman team, where the customer service, Cam, you don't have any what?
Swinging dicks.
None of it.
And I don't need to explain what that is.
No.
You should fucking know.
Yeah, you don't have any of that. Yeah. Okay, one thing you can find with our friends over at the Better Business Bureau, you can probably find a review on Bellman, and it's all positive.
Yeah.
And it's probably some great reviews.
Yep, good call on that.
I mean, listen, they got everything. The Better Business Bureau, man, where do you turn when you're looking for an honest business? Where do you turn? Where do you go? You go to the BBB. They've been reviewing companies for over 100 years, Cam. So, like, do you trust the review? Like, from people you don't know, do you trust the reviews? Like, if you go on Yelp and one of these, like...
No, because it's usually them doing it.
Yeah.
It's usually the company writing their own review. We're the best.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah, I know. And they have, like, their friends do it.
Yeah,
like,
totally, dude.
Listen, You go to the BBB, and they've been verifying the credibility of companies for over 100 years, like I said. That's a long time. So when you're looking for a list of companies you can trust, you start with the Better Business Bureau. That's where it starts and it ends. It's all free to the community. You don't have to pay the BBB to see the review of area businesses, which is another difference between the Better Business Bureau and other online review sites, because you don't have to pay. It's all free. Trustworthy, Better Business Bureau accredited businesses right there at the website, bbb.org. Very easy to get to, Cam. bbb.org. You can find easy-to-use consumer tips for every situation, whether you're buying a car, looking for a mortgage, understanding your cell phone contract, which you'll never know, Cam.
Oh, damn. I told you I got fucking
did you get that taken care of?
Yeah.
Okay.
They give me a credit.
Okay.
I'd rather have the kind.
And much, much more. Go to bbb.org so you can find companies you can trust. And before we get to the interview, we tell you about Daredevil hockey, man. You see that Cole Perfetti playing for Canada? Saw a picture of him the other day, man. Yeah, he plays for Canada in the World Junior team. Picture of him inside the dressing room wearing the Daredevil hockey, the top and the bottoms, dude.
You look good doing it?
Oh, hell yeah, man. He's a good player. He's on the power play.
I wore it last weekend.
Did you?
Remember the skate that you were invited to?
Yeah. Well, I was invited, but I wasn't able to come.
Skate that you weren't invited to?
I wasn't able to come. I went to a skate the day before. The Stricky Holiday Skate, the first annual.
Children? That's cool. We're playing against fucking Marines and shit.
I sent you a video of Ty on his
that was
shootout.
Cool.
What was
he had patience on that. I watched it. Although, man, those video, I had to they're tiny. They needed
no. You got to use your thumbnail and whatever. And just
I get you on that, but they don't need to show. They could change the camera angle a little bit. They don't need to see the fucking stands. I want to see the kids.
Well, because the way they do it in those rinks inside, I have to get Live Barn. They should be a sponsor of us, man. Live Barn, dude, they've got the videos inside these rinks all over the country. So, for parents who are in Canada, they can't come down to watch little Johnny play here in the States, then you can by going to Live Barn.
Keep an eye on, see how the coach reacts to different things.
Oh
see
my
how
God.
He's practicing.
The coach is always
how their parents are
I always tell the other coaches when
Everybody's
they're getting
watching.
mad, I'm like, dude, you're
Everybody's
on Live
watching.
Barn. You're on Live Barn.
Everybody's watching.
I tell Otter that before he starts taping his kids, hands to his stick, to make sure he keeps his hands on stick handling.
Yeah.
Hey, Otter, you're on Live Barn. So maybe make sure everybody knows.
All those boys, they all got that long hair, and a lot of it looks so corny. I'm watching it. So funny. I thought it was a girls' team, and I walked into one of the locker rooms.
What do you mean?
They just have long.
Oh, the hockey flow.
Yeah, but you all can't. Not everybody has good hair for that, right? But all the kids are doing it, and some of the kids look like girls.
You walked in where?
They're all behind us when we're skating. They're all just going and stick handling.
You don't know which one's
I'm
which?
and there's a girls' team over there, and I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I couldn't tell the difference. And I talked to some of the coaches, and they just shake their head.
I know. Well, you know what? They're all wearing Daredevil. I can tell you that. They're protected. The number one cause of emergency room visits among youth hockey players is skate lacerations. But guess what? When you get that Kevlar protective gear from Daredevil Hockey, using that promo code Cam Strick, all caps, that'll save you 25%, baby. All caps, Cam Strick, that'll save you 25%. Get that Daredevil Hockey gear and get it today. All right, let's get to the best of. There's lots to get into here in 2021. Who's our first one, Brody?
Brett Hall.
Ooh, we start things off on our best of. No introduction needed.
Yeah, here we go.
Here's the Golden Brett, baby. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. Nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and right off the bat, you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now to the interview.
Well, speaking of tough, though, what about, Mike Keenan? You're the biggest big dick going. My dad's driving me around McDonald's getting all of your hockey cards. Oh yeah.
I got all those, man.
I met Holly down to Lake of the Ozarks one time in the middle of with George.
He doesn't remember.
No, he doesn't remember. No, he does.
I do too. From the,
I told you.
Hey, you used to hang out at TGI Fridays too.
He did?
Oh yeah.
TGI Fridays?
Oh yeah. I remember running to you as a
That was Wednesday nights. That was the spot over at where was that? Over on Olive.
On Olive. And I remember coming up to you being like, listen, I was in detention, and I wrote you a fucking letter, and you never responded to me. And you said,
shit.
You said, well, when'd you write it? I said, I don't know, a couple months ago. And you said, well, give me some time. I'm still waiting for it, Holly.
Yeah. Hey, you and a lot of people now.
No shit. Hey, Keenan, though. God. Remember, there's so many stories about you with you and Keenan, and you were just doing so great, and you guys butted heads. We had him on the podcast, too, by the way. But as far as you sitting out... You sit in penalties, right? And you going over to the fucking, and you're like, no, I ain't doing it. Explain that. Like, you don't fucking penalties.
That was Brian Sutter.
It was,
Yeah.
It wasn't
Keenan let me kill penalties.
Sit penalties, Holly. Go to the box and
that's
sit
the one
penalties.
thing about Keenan. It's as big of a jerk as a coach he was, he played his best players until they dropped.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing 30 minutes a night.
I know, it's crazy.
For Keenan, and I loved it. But Brian Sutter, I mean, I don't know where his philosophy was, but it's like I couldn't kill pennies or be out there at the end of the game. And I lost it that year. I scored 86 goals. I knew I had a chance to break Gretzky's record. And all I needed was, a couple, 3, 4 empty netters sneak a couple of shorties in there, and I can do it. And and finally I just lost it and said, I'm not doing this anymore. Someone else can do this because it's embarrassing. So I snapped one night in Detroit and said, I'm not doing this anymore.
What does that mean, snap? Like what?
Well, I just came to my wit's end about it. I wanted to break Gretzky's record, and I was being held back by our coach, and it wasn't intentional. And that's what really pissed me off is that I don't think he realized that I had a chance to do it, or if Gretzky even had the record at 92 goals. Because if I was a coach and I don't think so, because he's not that type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not a guy that would deliberately not let me have a chance to be great, because he's the one who got me to be there to begin with. I think he didn't know. And it just drove me nuts, because it's, that would be something to be able to say, I've got the all-time record for a season single goal.
Because you didn't have an empty netter that year, did you? When you scored 86, or a shorty, which is just crazy.
What about serving penalties with Keenan?
That's what I mean. Serving penalties. That's where I snapped and said, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to kill penalties. It's not like we were vying, for the, or maybe we were. That was a good year. We were really good that year. I think we came second in the Presidents. But it's but it's not like I'm a bad player. I could kill penalties.
Okay, so where did things go south with you and Keenan? Like, how bad was it, Holly?
When he started treating the players so bad. He gets rid of Chaser and gets rid of Shanahan, and I don't care what anyone says. Obviously, Chris Pronger is an unreal player, Hall of Famer, turned out to be sick good. Mm-hmm. But at that time, that was a terrible trade, because no one knew if Chris was going to develop into that. And you had Brendan Shanahan, 50, 60 goal guy, tough as nails. Oh. And you just ship him out. He shipped Cujo out. It was just like one after another. And the way he treated people, it was just, it was like playing for a tyrant.
What about the way he
Kim Jong-un?
What about the way he treated Prongs though when he got there?
Well, it didn't matter, because that was his boy at that point. But he treated everyone the same. He could have been. I can't remember specifically, but Prongs and Al, they must have played 40 minutes a night minimum.
Do you think
they were both so good? It's a joke.
Do you think Keenan was jealous of you that you were so popular?
Oh yeah, no, I don't want to say jealous is the wrong word, but he did not like it.
In control, you're too much in control of the city.
Yeah,
too big.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's what he. God, what did he say to someone? He said it to Gretzky when he got there. Like, you make so much money, you don't even want to play anymore. It's like, what? This is Wayne Gretzky. Nobody plays harder than Wayne Gretzky.
Weren't you?
It was like, I mean, just think about it. You'd make a trade for the greatest player in the history of the world, and you treat him so badly he doesn't re-sign with you.
Why didn't he resign?
When one of his best players on the team with him, one of his best friends is on the team with him.
Why didn't he resign with the Blues? What's the real story?
Because they treated him, Jack Quinn and Mike Keenan treated him so poorly. He said this, because I told him, I said, don't do this. I go, this guy is crazy, Gretz. You don't want to play for him. And he goes, he'll change when I get there. I go, no, he won't. He doesn't have any respect for anybody that's a player. And he goes, no, he'll change when I get there. I go, I'm just going to give you one more chance to not do this. I'm sure there's 10 more teams lined up to trade for you.
Really?
That you'll enjoy. And after about a week, he looked at me and said, I should have listened to you.
Really?
And I knew he wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
Wow.
When we lost, well, what was the playoff game where we lost? It was Detroit in the conference finals. We lost like 7-1 or something. Mm-hmm. And we gave up it was 12 shots and they scored 7 goals and he benched me and Wayne. And then that's when he said that to Wayne. And it's like, and so we and Wayne go for a beer and it's like, pretty sure we didn't let in those goals. He goes, it's like not our. It's like I go. I told you.
Was it John Casey let him in?
Hey,
of course.
What's the story though? Didn't Keenan go and knock on Wayne's hotel room door?
We had Wayne on, by the way,
with a 6-pack of beer or something.
He did that one night, and Wayne said, "Go to bed." Said, "Go to bed. This is not." I was up there in Detroit after one of the games, just having a beer, and I mean. Keenan, he trades for all these veterans, but then treats them like they're rookies, right? So puts all this drama on the curfew. And so I'm up there with Gretz, and we're just having a beer. And the trainer calls up, and he's like, Gretz, where's Hully? And so he hands me the phone. I go, yeah, what can I do for you? And he's like, Keenan's looking for you. And I go, okay. I go, what room's he in? And he goes, whatever room, whatever. I didn't even do that. I just said, hey, phone down and say, can I have Mike Keenan's room? And we don't have a Mike Keenan here. And I go, yeah, you do. I go, this is Brett Hull from the Blues. He's our coach. We're staying here, the hockey team. He goes, yeah, no Mike Keenan. So I phoned the trainer back and I go, there's no Mike Keenan here. And he goes, oh, he's under an alias. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And so I called him and he goes, where are you? And I go, I don't know, Mike. If you would have checked all the rooms, you knew where I was. He's such a dick.
Isn't that funny? You don't get an alias. Gretzky doesn't get an alias, but the fucking Mike Keenan does. I mean,
Gretz always had an alias.
Of course he did.
What was his alias? What would he go by?
I can't tell you because he's still using
it.
Did you like Hitch? Like, what'd you think of him when you got there? What'd you learn about him? I mean, you guys won a cup together, obviously.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a great guy, super smart. But his idea of how to play hockey and mine are completely 180 degrees apart. But he won the cup with us, and that's all that matters. And that was my first one, and that really changed the perception of who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because there was always Mike Keenan. Said, "Oh, you'll never win with him," and then I win 2 in 3 seasons, and it changed the perception, that I completely changed my game to play for the Stars and then went back and started playing real hockey again with the Red Wings.
Yeah, well, you're the biggest pimp on the planet at this time, and you score that fucking goal, and then you have that team, that old veteran team, and you guys go out that night. Like, what'd you do after you score that goal?
We didn't get home. We didn't get home until 8 in the morning.
Explain it. Like, what'd you do? What happened?
The Buffalo were such dicks, they wouldn't even give us beer.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Darcy was working for the team, and she went down and jumped on the motorized forklift and brought us a flat of beer because of the so-called no goal, they weren't going to give us any beer. The biggest dick move ever.
Darcy's fucking badass. She's badass.
Doesn't the league provide the beer for the celebration?
No. No, God, no.
Jeez. They don't?
So did Keenan call you and say congratulations?
No.
All right, that was Hully, Brett Hall. And we wanted to get him on for a long time. He didn't disappoint.
No, he didn't.
You know that. Listen to that full episode if you haven't already. All right, we continue on from one Hall of Famer to the next. Chris Pronger.
Oh.
He joined the Cam Strick Podcast. Check this out.
You walk in that locker room, though, and all those fucking big dogs are staring at you. Did they welcome you? Or were they like, oh, here he is, boys? Or were they chirping? What?
No, they weren't chirping because I think they knew it was going to be a tough start. Based on who I was traded for and his name in the community and, all that stuff. So they were good. I never, nobody ever kind of did that. I think if anything, they were trying to, right off the bat, I was in Mike's doghouse. I wasn't in good enough shape. Me and Furzy were part of the bike club after practice.
Oh boy.
He sends Furzy home. I get sent to the bike, and then I think from a playing perspective, just like anything else, you're there to play. You're there to focus on that, and immediately start getting booed. And Mike didn't help me when he came out in the media and said, "Doesn't this guy know who I traded him for?" And that immediately rips the Band-Aid off real quick. And then it was, for the first 3 quarters of the season, it was booing and a lot of vitriol out of the home crowd. And then the nice part was Gretz got traded here, and the attention just
shifted.
See you later.
Shifted. Yeah.
See you later.
I don't know who you are anymore. We're going to pay attention to this guy over here, and it really did help me because it allowed me to just kind of do my thing and get back to playing the game the way I knew how and the way I had played the whole way up. So I was too worried about everything and pleasing people and doing all that shit. Mm-hmm. And once I got past that, I'm like, you know what, forget it. I need to read and react. Just play the game.
Don't do it.
Don't worry about Mike screaming and yelling at you. Don't worry about this. I was in his office after every period, after every game, after every practice.
Too much.
Just relentless.
I've heard he really would bring you in all the time.
I was in there.
Would you go back at him too?
Well, yeah, but I mean, after a while, like Igor Kravchuk would pinch, and it would be a 3-on-1 coming back at me, and if you get a slide, and then they tic-tac-toe, and it's in the net, and that's my fault. Everything was my fault.
Yeah.
So it was, but there was a method to his madness, but when you're going through it at that time, it's hard.
Okay, so let me ask you this, though, because Mike Keenan, we've had him on too, man. I mean, we asked him all these questions, but for you as a young kid, like, you put yourself in his shoes, would you ever treat a young player like that? Do you feel like it was good for you, or did he cross the line in terms of what his motive was?
Well, you have to, every kid and every player and every person's different. You have to understand their mentality and their mindset and their type of person they are, their character. Based on what I talked to a number of players after I got traded, I talked to different players that have played for him before, and talk about Leach and Roenick and Chelios and some of these guys where he was hard on them and drove them hard, and then built them back up, and so they knew kind of his method to his madness at some times. As it relates to today's game, I don't think these kids can handle it. I don't think they have the wherewithal and the willpower and the mindset to deal with somebody who can be that berating and that bullish on you in relentlessly over and over and over again. I mean, there's obviously times where you're feeling confident and you're like, fuck you. And then there's other times you're just like, okay, enough. Ugh. Like, it's just, it was every day. Every day. Something, in the office, I'm going to trade you to Ottawa. I'm like, well, then finally I was like, well, then do it. I don't care. Then go ahead.
Did he ever break you?
In what sense?
Mentally, just where you just completely lost your confidence.
Position, sucking your thumb.
And you couldn't take it anymore.
No. But I mean, you get to a point where you've got to, there was a lot of Thursdays and Saturday nights where I was heading to the bar after the game to make sure I didn't remember. But, breaking, no. To say that he was breaking me, no. But, I mean, you're a beaten down man when you're in there every single day. And it got, Courts used to laugh every time he's like, Keenan would come in, let's go. And I'd go in there and he'd go, here we go again.
I can see all the
and he went in and talked to me like, dude, you got to lay off him. Yeah. Like, enough. and when you get your teammates going in there to tell them, like, okay, enough, stop.
Veteran teammates.
Yeah, like, enough.
Yeah.
So, no, I wasn't broken. I talked, and Mike, I'd talk to him on the plane ride home. He'd have me up there, have a couple of wines in him, and he'd put his arm around me. Hey, don't worry about it, kid. We're going to get through this.
He'd do that, though? That's cool, then.
Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, well, you're the one doing it.
But at least he hugged you.
Yeah,
You know shit.
Yeah, and he, it was good. I went and saw a sports psychologist and talked about some of the stuff and that he gave me the name of.
Yeah, exactly. Go to my sports psychologist.
Partly, yeah, because he was just like, well, why are you worrying about this or that? Not that I gave a shit that much that I was being booed or that. It was more about I wanted to play good. I wanted to get out of my head in the sense that you're thinking about what could go wrong instead of just reacting. Just get back to reacting to what's in front of you. And once I did that, then.
But when was that? When did you find your groove?
That was probably the start of the playoffs that year.
You started, you know what? I'm going to fucking start cross-training.
I started the first, let's see here. Gretz got there. It took me probably 2 or 3 weeks to kind of start to get it going because, practices and things, you're getting it going. And then in the lead up to the playoffs, then I started kind of getting it going again. And then in the playoffs, I kind of came into my own.
All right, so when Gretzky was here, like that experience of having him be a teammate, was it what everybody would think it would be? Like right off the bat, are you just like, oh my God, I'm playing with Wayne Gretzky, or did it not really impact you like that?
No, it like I said, I think it helped me because you're able to watch how he handles the media, how he handles the public, how he handles being the name in hockey and the great one. And, and all that stuff. And, I think it was when you're able to learn from some of the greats like that and you're able to kind of see how they deal with the coach, how they deal with their teammates, how they, all those things, you're able to kind of take little pieces of it and add it into your development and add it into how you deal in your own way, how you deal with the media, how you deal with teammates and coaches and ownership and all the things that kind of come along with that.
So go back to Edmonton. So did you know pretty quickly that it wasn't going to work out long term? Like, how'd you know?
I knew. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, Andy. Why are you asking stupid questions?
What is this, Mike Wallace over here?
Chris Wallace?
Yeah. What are we doing?
Let me phrase this a different way, okay? You asked for the trade, but you just took the team to the Stanley Cup final. It's Canada. You knew that probably wouldn't go over very well. The fans would maybe be like,
and your point is what?
What? Was that hard?
But so what?
Was it hard?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, was it hard?
Here's a question that I ask other people. So when the team doesn't like the way a player's playing,
I got you,
and they absolutely bury him, and then they trade him, or they waive him, or they cut him. I don't hear anybody complaining when that happens. So when somebody, it's their choice. I don't want to play here anymore, or I want to be moved, or I want. Why is that like ripping the heart and soul out of a city, a team, whatever? Because a player doesn't want to play there. Players have choices too. Yes, I would have had more choice had I not signed a 5-year deal. But besides that, if I don't want to play there, then so be it. Like, what does it matter? I could have a 5-year deal and play like garbage, and they're going to want to trade me. But nobody's going to burn my furniture then. So, like, think about it.
Yeah, some of the crazy stuff happened.
You got it from IKEA anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I am the brick.
Hey, that's crazy. I remember.
So think about it. But just think about that. I get it.
Yeah,
I understand the mindset and the thought process and the fan and the media, the team, whatever. I get it. And then especially Edmonton, the media. Plays it up pretty hard.
And they hadn't won in a long time. You guys just went to the Stanley Cup final.
Exactly.
You were their best player. Maybe the best hockey you ever played was in the playoffs. It was unbelievable. You would have won the Conn Smythe if you guys would have won that Game 7.
Which is pretty, by the way, which is almost like this second team All-Star, fourth in Norris voting. Like,
blame it on Andy.
Hey, I can't tell you how many media members that talk to me and say, I don't know how that guy beat you in the Conn Smythe.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, I was second in the league in scoring as a defenseman.
Right.
And by the way, he wasn't even the starter for them in the first round. And oh, by the way, he got pulled in 4 games.
All right, that was Chris Pronger. Always good to catch up with him. Cam, you mentioned he was live presents a completely different dynamic. The big boy about to have his jersey retired by the St. Louis Blues coming up on January 17th. Let's hope we have that game. There's no issues with Omicron that prevents that from happening. All right, Beau Bennett. People were like, wow, Beau Bennett came on? Dude, he told amazing stories. Here are just a few from the former first-round pick from Southern California.
And then Joey B, he was my first seatmate on the St. Louis or on the Pittsburgh plane, and we were until I got traded. We sat next to each other, but you guys know how good of a guy he is. It's just couldn't have asked for a better situation to sit next to this guy. And I'm like, this guy's a fucking beauty. You can't not have a smile around him. It's crazy.
He's always happy.
He's always happy.
He's always talking about cooking and shit.
I know.
Yeah.
Making bread.
Honestly, he is, and he was always for the boys. He'd stand up to the boys, especially the guys at the time. We're kind of not in and out of Bylsma's office and getting the meetings every day. And I think I don't. You guys can ask him, but I think there's a funny story behind when he got traded out of Pittsburgh. We used to do these meetings basically for all the young guys and the fourth line guys, where it'd be he'd call us into the office and we just watch clips and whatnot, over and over, not even really talking, just kind of whenever he'd fuck up, he'd just rewind, play. And maybe this story gets a little lost in translation. I don't want to, but it was during preseason. I guess Joey B had a meeting or something, and they were showing a turnover of a preseason game, and he just went back and forth, rewinding, playing. And I guess they had just watched a bunch of guys make other turnovers, the guys that they would never have meetings with. And Dan, I guess, said, "Hey, what are you feeling right now?" And don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure Joey said, "Honestly, I want to sucker you in the face." And then they got in a big fuck you match, and then Joe wasn't there for too much longer past that.
Wow.
Oh, no shit. Oh, so that fucking Italian
maybe you
came out of him.
shouldn't have told us. I don't
know,
man.
That Italian came out of that motherfucker.
But listen, he's one of our favorite people. Let alone
I shaved his fucking head one time.
I think honestly it was just a lot a tipping point for all right, enough's enough. I think he was 29 at the time. I can't be doing these 45-minute meetings watching me turn over one puck in the 7th game of preseason.
And when I said jealousy, is there any ever jealousy between Sid and Gino? I meant competition, internal competition. Because they're both studs, they're both getting a lot of attention, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's always competition. There definitely is that internal battle within them that kind of pushes them to be better players. I mean, I think they both kind of flourish more having each other on different lines for most of their career, same power play. I mean, whenever Sid was out, Gino would step up and vice versa with Gino being out. But Sid's the most competitive guy I've ever seen. He would be one of those guys you play best out of 3 horse or something, and he loses and you go, okay, best out of 5, best out of 7. It's but that competitiveness, that translates into Gino too. He's just not Canadian, or he doesn't speak good English. But I mean, in practice, we fed off those guys. They'd be battling. There's actually one story about Gino. Am I allowed to tell stories and stuff like that?
I want the story. We want the stories. So does the guy driving a concrete truck right now in Saskatchewan. He wants a freaking story
exactly.
too.
Busting his ass.
And now that I'm retired, I'm not as worried about stepping on toes. So it's perfect to let it go with some of these. But
you're fine.
I think it was my 3rd year in Pittsburgh. We play on New Year's Eve. We have a New Year's day practice scheduled for 12 the next day. And so we have a party. I guess New Year's is massive in Russia. That's their go-to holiday. And on the way out, I think Gino was yeah, I'll see you the next game. I'm not coming to practice. And everyone's whatever. So fast forward to the next day, we're all basically he could have just shown up and he wouldn't even have to go on the ice, but he didn't come to the rink. And the next morning comes, Gino basically is yeah, I don't know what I did wrong. I told you I wasn't coming. And then we get on the ice and we're playing last puck just around the net. and Gino steals the puck from Craig Adams, and Craig's a fiery guy. I love Craig. He's one of the best teammates. He really
military
helped me
boy.
as a young guy. Yeah, he like helped me kind of become more of a professional. I might have been too Californian. We'll just say that.
We know, Bobo, we know.
And then so Gino steals the puck, and then Craig was already mad that Gino didn't show up. So they start teeing off, like baseball swinging each other. And this is like all the other teams, like they have like their coaches in the stands. I'm like full on baseball swinging, and then Craig's shorter charges at Gino, and Gino just puts a stick like to cross check him. He takes Craig's lip like clean off from his like one side of the mouth to the other side, and then so he gets stitched up. Craig's fuming at like as he should be. Like it was just like a shitty, and Gino still doesn't really know why people are mad at him. I didn't give a fuck because I was young and I had to be there anyway. I don't care for the older guys if they had to come or whatnot. But I'm stretching in the locker room afterwards with Gino, and Craig comes flying in, punts the physio ball at him, and I'm like stuck in between them. And I never been in a fight, not even in hockey, not outside of hockey. So I'm like
California boy.
Back.
You're too Californian. No shit. You are too Californian.
So I'm like, I hate confrontation at this point. I'm like, fuck, like these guys are going to start wailing on each other. More people came in, and then Gino actually had to put up like $10K on the board or something for like a meal, our next meal, pay for a meal, and he ended up scoring first shift of the game that night.
Of course he did.
All right, that was Beau Bennett. Great stuff from him, man. Again, told some great stories. Some of them just absolutely blew up. Like, you talk about Crosby and Malkin and some of those guys. It's going to get a lot of attention. Yeah. Eating funnel cake with his girlfriend, like waiting. His girlfriend sat there throughout the entire interview.
Go ride the log flume.
He loves amusement parks. All right, you think about outspoken players, current players who get attention, who want to help people, who are helping people, and aren't afraid to speak their mind. This sounds like the perfect guest for the Cam Strick Podcast. Robin Lehner joined us for a must-listen interview. Here's a couple of snippets. All right, listen, when you're in Buffalo, because like Ryan O'Reilly, man, he's here now. Like, he didn't like it there. He was open. Like, he said he had to get out of there. Yeah. Like, was that a difficult, like, and Patrick Berglund, man, who we know very well. I mean, I've known Patrick since he was whatever. Cam played with them. Yep. And, he gets there and, like, he needed to get the hell out of there. Goes back to Sweden, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, was that a bad combination for you, like, dealing what you were dealing with personally and then being in that type of culture? Or was that not the issue there?
Yeah, no, it was. It was. No, I mean, listen, man, here's the thing that people got to understand, right? Like, the Buffalo people are great, Like I made a lot of Buffalo friends. I really did. Problem was, I came to Buffalo through a difficult trade, with me going through a very, very, very complicated concussion from Ottawa the year before, where the Hamburglar went in and went 20-0-1 and kicked me out of there.
Yep.
And had a pretty crazy summer. Came to and then get traded. Ottawa, they handled that concussion thing terribly, but then just traded me, and then all of a sudden, okay, Buffalo, here we go, right? And I go to Buffalo, and I wasn't ready, man. Like, I've gone through my concussion, all that stuff. I wasn't in shape. And I came there, and I tear everything in my foot the first game.
In your foot?
On a fluke. Damn. Yeah, on my foot. So I tear the second period of the game against Ottawa, of all teams at home. First game of the season, I tear everything. I had a high ankle sprain and tear everything in my foot. And go through that, and there was a bunch of problems. They hired like 12, 13 new people in that team that year that never been around hockey. All the medical guys and the physios and all that stuff they took them in from all over the world. Have never seen a puck in their life, and I ended up getting a lot worse and ended up having surgery at the end of that season, because they just kept screwing it up, which, it's just, surgery and all other types of things, you get after surgery opens up. But the big problem when I talk about Buffalo, right, it's like if you go through some mental problems or if you go through anxiety or depression and whatnot, then they're incredibly passionate fan base. Listen, man, like it has that, energy when you're coming to the rink, like it hits you in the face when you open the door from the parking lot, just going to a game. It hits you in the face right before you open it. It's like, this sucks, like, I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to offend any Buffalo fan, but man, then you go and you try to play the game you love with the pressure and stuff that comes with it. And you go out and warm ups and it's just, because they had lost for so many years, it was just like they hate you, like it wasn't fun. And they, they call out the names before the game, and okay, they cheer for Jack Eichel, but boo the rest.
Oh my God!
It's like,
and now he wants out.
No shit.
And he don't even want to be there.
Fuck.
No, and again, it's another medical problem there too. I mean, the shit they did to some of the players when I was there, and especially to me regarding my ankle. I mean, it was crazy, man. I had a high ankle sprain. They had me on the bike 1 week after. 1 week after I had my fully torn everything, worst grade high ankle sprain. 1 week after, they put me on the bike with a special boot. I should have been walking on it maybe 6 to 8 weeks after I got it happened. They had me doing leg presses with like 300 pounds 3 weeks into it. And I re-sprained everything and ended up to have surgery, So
weren't you like, this fucking hurts? Like, what are we doing? Did you have any sort of rebuttal?
Yeah, well, man, it's not really how it works, isn't it? When you're younger, they have these so-called professionals and tells you what to do, or you understand what I mean?
I get it, man. I do.
No,
man. It's what Eichel said. Eichel said it is. Eichel looked at what Eichel said himself. He doesn't make his decisions about his body.
Yeah.
It's not him.
No, you got to trust the medical people around you, man. You got to trust the medical people.
Yeah, but even trusted. Even if he wanted to have another surgery, he's not allowed to do what he wants with his body.
Right. So listen, you go to New York though. Like you have an unbelievable season, Vezina finalist. You win the Jennings. They put the Rangers on your trophy. We can't let that happen, Robin. They got to put get the right New York team.
I like that one. I have that one at home too.
But listen, like one of the best seasons that I've seen from a goaltender in a long time, man. You were incredible. Yeah. But what happened? Like, what's the real story? Why you couldn't get a long-term contract there? They offer you something, then they turn to Varlamov, and you end up going to Chicago on a 1-year deal. Like, what's the real story there?
Well, the real story is very, very simple. And I've been very upfront. I have no reason to lie about it because, there's not many people in the league that I respect more than Lou Lamoriello and Barry Trotz. Mm-hmm. The intention was to get things done. Our end of the year meeting, we were supposed to, we talked and they wanted, was mutual interest, obviously, from both of us to get something done. And I was going to be a priority to get something done quickly. That didn't happen, and things change, in hockey for sure. But that we have Anders Lee, and we had a few other players that were also signing deals that year. I think Eberle and maybe it was it Nelson too? Maybe I don't remember. And Lee was up for a big contract, and that was me. And we kept taking time. Then we went to awards. It's like everything's going to be fine, all this stuff. And, we just keep waiting for an offer. You understand what I mean? But they wanted us to give them a number, and that's not really how it works for everyone else. You understand what I mean? So to make it very simple, they offered me, I think the first thing they offered me was like 2-year extension for, I think it was $4.5 million for 2 years. And obviously I wanted term. And